My hat! So I've gone ahead and taken apart the transmission, so I just opened it. Once you remove these screws right in here, so it's these 6 screws, this just opens up just like that. So on this side you have the differential. This will just slide out. So it's metal ring, plastic case, 4 screws there. I will removing the 4 screws here on the video. And let's see, idler gear fell out. So this is what this looks like. That little pin right there, that's a little roll pin. That is something that tends to break under high power. So a little recommendation, be mindful of this or replace it with the new system. The lay shaft and the gear are one piece or one unit, no longer has a little roll pin. And this is from the 272R transmission. So you can go ahead and replace this. But for now, what I'm going to do is I've run my drag car with this transmission open diff, because that's pretty much what this has. So I'm going to go ahead and open it, and then I'm going to clean the little gears, and I'm going to put some heavier diff oil in there. Right now it's just grease, and then I'll see how it does, see if there's an improvement. So just because this is the older one and it's a plastic case, it doesn't mean it's not good. And to be honest, some diff oils, such as 1 million diff oil, they're so thick, they're not really gonna leak as fast as other things. That's if they leak. After a while, I guess I can always open it up, maybe a year from now or something, probably not a year, maybe a month, and see how much of that has leaked out. Let's see. All right, so in here you're gonna have some planetary gears. There we go. So all of that needs to be cleaned out. So all I'm gonna do is, first of all, notice these little things here. All right, so there's those little tabs. That's the easiest way. That goes in there. So when you reassemble, that goes in there. I'm going to remove everything, and I'm simply going to use alcohol to clean this out, and then I'll just use a driver to get some of that excess grease out. But really, packing the differential with grease isn't really going to do much, I'll be honest. So we're going to try some heavy diff fluid and see what it does. So I'm going to try this 1 million oil. Now this one's made by Kyosho. There's other brands out there. But to reassemble, we're just going to grab one of these. Now these are the same, so it doesn't matter. You can also use cotton swabs to clean this out, but if you do, you need to make sure that there's no lint left behind. So I'm just going to grab some of this, and this is very thick. Just gonna put some right here on the edges. So if you've worked with 1 million, you know what it feels like. If you have not, it's very thick. I mean, it's thicker than most glues. It's very similar to certain adhesives, industrial adhesives. All right, so this one goes on that side, and this gear goes on the opposite end. These are the gears that are going to go farther down, and I shall grab this little center pin and place it there. So this little pin there, do not forget that. That's what keeps these two lined up. So that's a very important component of the transmission. At this point, I'm going to fill in these two sides. Just a little more fluid, although I may not need that much. Trying to... I accidentally got somewhere the screws go. Not a big deal. Alright, so that was cleaner. Alright. I strongly dislike the feeling of silicone oils. Here we go. I'll drop that other gear in. And as I drop that gear in, it'll push the gear that I previously installed down into its location. You can also move this little shaft here, or not. Let's see. This one does not want to. There we go. Just needed to move the individual gear, not the entire thing. Go ahead and just press down on them. All right. Good. All right. So now that we have these here, I can go ahead and install these other components here. Now, let me just double check something. Oh, yep, that's what I thought. All right, make sure you use the correct one. It's the larger one. Didn't feel right. All right, perfect. So this will sit in there. Now I am going to put a little bit of the silicone in here. Now I'll place this in. That is it. And now I'm just going to put some of this differential fluid, and I just want to get to approximately the level. Do not overfill, because then it will not close, and differential will not work properly at all. All right. Now this is a very thick oil. If you just let it sit for a while, it will all just seep down. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And then once it's finished, I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on. All right, at this point, these little nubs here, they go right where there's no gear. It's just that little pin, no gear. You can also line up with those little tabs, as I had mentioned. And you're just gonna slide it in. Now there is some excess. There's the excess, not a big deal. Just need to make sure I press this in with my fingers first before I start putting in the screws and tightening this. Let's see. All right, so this is sitting flush. And it's just four screws. Just gonna drive them in just so they're in there. That way they don't fall. As you can see, they keep wiggling about. Now I'm going to start tightening them. So I'll just get it close, but I won't do a full tightening. I'll only tighten partially, and then I shall finish it off. Alright, so that's close. Alright, now I'm going to start tightening everything fully. And I am going in a cross pattern. There it is. All right. I'm gonna re-grease the gear. Don't really need much. Grease will be picked up by the teeth on the other ones. Now, if you forget if it goes this way or that way, not a big deal. If you place it here, notice the gears, everything meshes. If I were to flip this, then this idler gear would be here on the plastic, so it would not work. So that's the way to do it. Just remember, this plastic side goes on the left side. And now, make sure that the bearing is there. Notice there's a shim right in here, so you're gonna have to make sure that it's lined up, or take the shim. There we go. If you have a little bit of grease on your finger, it helps. And then just place the shim right there. So now I'm just gonna hold the tape down just a little. And I'm gonna set this through. And that is it. So now I'm just gonna put all the screws in and the slipper. For the slipper, just remember to assemble all the components and to install the pin in there. So I'm gonna do this off camera, then I'm gonna install it. Well, I'm gonna put the rear together. And there's nothing like a before and after. So this is before the diff modification. So before I added that million, it just didn't work, right? Traction wasn't very even between the tires. And this is after, so big difference. And this is the same transmission, stock Traxxas transmission, with the exception of this one here has the 1 million diff oil. Again, runs nice, 77 kilometers per hour, which is almost 48 miles per hour. Please comment below, subscribe if you have not, and I will catch you on the next one.
Oh, my hair! My car! My rod!